Good evening, everyone. I have a question. It says, "What is your favorite childhood memory?" This is a great, interesting question. So, my favorite childhood memory would be when I was around like maybe 8 or 9 years old, and this was in the '90s. And I can remember that my grandma she bought me a blue bicycle. She bought it for me, and my grandmother she didn't really have a lot of resources. She really did the best that she can. It was the most important thing to me, and I didn't understand it as a kid, and I understand it today. But she bought me a blue bicycle. It was about the color of this shirt. Yeah, and then she did it from the bottom of her heart because I had some friends that lived down the street. I didn't have my own bike, and they used to let me ride their bike every day. And one day, their mom told them to tell me, I believe it was their mom that told them to tell me that I couldn't ride. And they said it in a cruel way, and I was so hurt. I ran home crying at that time. I was a kid, really young. And my grandmother, she held me in her arms, gave me that grandma hug, and said, "What is wrong with my baby?" And she made me feel so protected, and I even cried even more when she hugged me. It was just so touching, and she took it so personal, as if they had told her that she couldn't ride today. Because she was so worried and she could feel my hurt. She put herself in my shoes, my grandmother, and she said, "We're going to take you and we're going to get you a bike today." And she never really got me a lot of things because she couldn't really afford those, but she put everything to the side and made a sacrifice and said, "We're going to do this," because she was so hurt by the children telling me that I couldn't ride, and she could feel my pain. And this is my favorite childhood memory because I take it as if it was a fable, because the lesson to this to me is if someone really loves you, they will make sacrifices and they put aside everything in order to make you happy. And that's what my grandmother did. She put beside everything and made this sacrifice just to make me happy because she could feel my pain at that time. I was a kid and she could feel it. So and I remember she wanted to put it in the layaway, and I was like, "Grandma, I want it now. I want it now." And she got it for me, and that's something I never forget. It's just a great childhood memory. Yeah, she really did put herself to the side, and with her last, she made that sacrifice just to make me happy because of the cool things that the kids said. I remember they were like brothers and sisters, yeah, and they had their bikes. But after that, I never rode their bike again. And I don't know, it also kind of gives me like a type of, to me, the lesson I get out of it also is just independence, like this, like a source of independence. Like I never had to depend on them to ride their bike. My grandma gave me the bike, and it made me feel independent just having my own bike. So that's another thing I got out of it. So that's why this is a great childhood memory. That's my favorite childhood memory. Thank you for your question.